What's up, my lovelies? Story time. Short little, try to make it short. But anyway, we're talking about Facebook about like silly little fears, like my mom. She's afraid of clowns. And I don't blame her. Clowns are freaking creepy. People are afraid of how people are afraid of spiders, like little things. Like I'm afraid of the dark and of birds. I'll explain the birds in a second. The dark, the reason I'm still afraid of the dark, and I'm 26 years old, is because of some things my stepdad used to tell me as a child. Mixed with the fact that in the dark, you can't see shit. So anything could be in the dark. And I see ghosts. I see dead people. But, no, really, I've always been able to see ghosts. They always, like, show themselves to me. It's just... And then my practices, my beliefs, of course they show themselves to me. I'm more in tune with the occult and the paranormal and just all that stuff. I'm a Wiccan, so... Yeah, that's why I'm afraid of the dark. Birds, on the other hand, I have a very, very good reason as to why I am terrified of birds. My mother could vouch for that. They're evil little bastards. Just their eyes, beady little yee. I'm gonna freaking... I hate birds. And birds know it. They hate me too. So... this is where story time comes in. The first part, we were on a trip. My mother, father, and brother and I were all on a trip to the zoo in Albuquerque. That's Albuquerque, New Mexico. They had a bird exhibit, and this was new because we hadn't seen this before. Where you could go in, there were these little tiny, like, canaries, like, I think that's what they were. And they were little itty bitty birds. So I was like, oh, how cute. I'll give it a chance. Maybe, maybe this bird will be cute and it'll be nice. And I'll be able to, like, be okay with it. So you go into the exhibit and they give you a little cup about that big of, like, nectar. It's like this sweet yellow nectar. That's all it is nectar. And you could feed the birds with it. So they gave me my cup, and then they had me hold my finger out to one of the birds. You just hold your finger out like that. I couldn't, like, I was doing this, like, okay, so once the bird got on my hand, I was just sitting there like this, like, with it angled as far away from my face as possible, and I was doing this, like, holding the bird and the little nectar cup out, and the bird just, like, it would take a little sip of the nectar and then look at me like, I know you're afraid of me, like, I'm gonna fuck you up. So what made it worse, I eventually had to leave because I had a little panic attack, because not just one bird I had on my finger, I had other birds start to hop on me, and it just freaked me out. I had to leave. Mind you, I was younger, a lot younger. I was maybe 13, like 12 or 13, something like that. So part 2 to my birdie story time. Another reason I don't like birds. My cousins, from my dad's side, they had a bird. They had a cockatiel. And for those who don't know, those are the big white birds. They're like that, with the thing that goes up like that. Their feather goes up like that on their head. And they are so freaking mean. This one in particular, his name was Einstein, or Einie. And he was pretty old for many years I would go to my cousin's house to hang out, and the bird would always freaking be there. That and the big macaw. But that bird would leave me alone. That bird was okay with. A little fact about Einstein. He did not like females. Also, he didn't like things on your face, like glasses or makeup or piercings. So, keep that in mind. Okay, my other cousin had gone over, my cousin Jazz had gone over one day, and she had her lip pierced. And with that in mind, the bird flew at her and ripped her piercing out. It also ripped her ear, bit into her ear so hard, it almost pierced her ear. Almost. Okay, so the bird did that to her. Okay, here's where I come in. I go one day, and I'm relaxing, and I guess Einstein's in a mood, because birds can be like that. I'm sitting there talking, and all of a sudden, the bird flies over me, and I'm like watching him. And then I hear him behind me, and then all of a sudden, the bird flies back over my head, and with his feet, he grabs my hair and then pulls it, and then takes off when they yell at him, when my cousin yells at him. Well, again, the bird started freaking diving at me, so all I could do was... all I could do was dive down, screaming, and I had to crawl out of the house, screaming, so terrified. And I left the house, slammed the door, and I slammed the door on the bird. And it stopped, okay, because the door wasn't open. And it took off, went to go fly to my cousin, and my cousin throws him into the room, like pissed off. It was the worst experience I've ever had with a bird. It was so embarrassing, and I don't know why, and it's because I had glasses and makeup on that day, and it was just so horrible. I thought this bird is gonna like claw my eyes out or something. That's why I hate birds, guys. So, yeah. Don't trust birds. They're evil little bastards. Also, I don't like birds because of the movie Birds. That's like the only other reason. So, yeah. Hope you enjoyed my story time, guys. Have a good one. Mwah. Love you all so much.